To have you. Tonight's class is going to focus on grounding postures and exercises. The idea is that even if we do come up to standing and start moving around in flows, that at the end of the class that we feel really rooted. We really feel really connected to the ground, to the earth. We feel supported. We feel connected to that inner support within us, you know, that whole thing. And yeah, yeah, hopefully more so than you do right now. I don't know what state you're in right now, but hopefully all of this will help bring you back down to earth in a more grounded and centered and stable way. And so that's really what this is about at the end of the day: stability, groundedness, centeredness. And let's go ahead and go inward and work toward that experience. So sitting tall, relax your shoulders down your back, and become aware of the points of contact your body makes with the floor. Your body seated on the ground. And as you're aware of that connection, be aware of the earth beneath you, like all the support down to the core of the planet, rising up to hold you here, nice and steady, nice and still. And out of that base, there comes your spine. The spine connecting to the pelvis, that support continuing up, each vertebrae stacking one on top of the other. Your rib cage and your shoulders fanning off of the spine, also supported by that base. And then it comes up to your head, balancing on the top of the spine. All of it rooted, all of it grounded, all of it steady and stable. We'll just take a few more breaths into that awareness, your own steadiness, however strong or not strong that might be right now. And then take a deeper, fuller breath. Bring your palms together at your heart, bow your chin, and just honor yourself however you are in this moment, this body, breath, energy, and mind. And may your practice tonight here be in service of that, all of that. So rubbing the palms together, creating heat. Take the heated palms over your eyes, and then brush back over the top of your head, down the neck, bringing yourself back to the room. So we're going to stay seated for this first exercise, and we're going to come into butterfly pose. The soles of the feet together and the knees are wide. Now I'm still sitting on my folded blankets. If you need support here, especially if you find yourself rounding, grab a pillow, a cushion, or a blanket and fold it up and sit on the edge of that. That'll just give you a little bit more access here as we start to get deep into the hips tonight, okay? So holding on to the shins, holding on to the ankles, just begin to flap the wings. Very gently, just allow the knees to rise and fall. And breathe. Especially since we haven't done any movement yet, this does not have to be your biggest fanning of the legs. So just tiny movements, up and down. Now, if you've done a hips class with me before, which I think all of you have, I say all the time that the hips don't like to be rushed. So we're going to do this for just a little bit longer, and we're going to breathe with it. And the idea is that over time, the hips will start to give a little bit more. Start to relax a little bit more. And do notice if your breath starts to catch here, if you start to stop breathing, I should say, or if your breath becomes shallow, if you hold it. And if that happens, just take a deeper breath. We're going to go from about another 25 seconds or so. Just this movement alone, maybe it's my own experience here. I guess it's the only thing I can speak for, but it feels grounding to me. Like just doing this, I've become very much aware of my hip flexors. I become aware of my hips sitting on the ground and just kind of moving energy downward. Take a deep breath in and out and relax. Good, good. All right, so I'm going to have you extend one leg forward now. I'll scoot back so I stay on camera. So let's do a left leg forward and bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh. Good. Now, when you do that, what happens sometimes is the hips start to curve under behind you. So you actually have to reach back and widen the flesh of your seat back a little bit so that you're sitting up as tall as you can on your sits bones. Okay? Good. Go ahead and lift the arms up by your ears and relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, feel length in the spine. With your exhale, hinge at the hips and bring your heart about halfway forward. And then inhale, come back up. And then exhale, again, come about halfway forward. We're just getting started. Inhale, lift. Exhale, halfway. Inhale up. This time, go a little bit further. You'll feel the stretch. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, forward. Inhale up. Let's do two more. Exhale, forward. Inhale back up. One more time. Inhale, rise. And then release your arms down. Let's just switch legs. Extend your right leg forward and bring the left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Again, widen the flesh of the seat back so you're sitting up tall. And I didn't mention this on the first side, but flex the long foot, the leg that's extended. Pull the right toes back. And then go ahead and lift the arms up. Relax the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Feel length in the spine. Then exhale, fold about halfway forward again. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold halfway forward. Inhale, back up. Exhale again, halfway. Inhale, lift. Let's do a few more. Going a little bit further this time. Good, and then go one more time. Inhale back up and relax the arms on down. Good. Now take both feet flat to the floor in front of you and take your feet, let's say about mat width apart or a little bit wider than your shoulders, depending on how you're facing right now. Now, with your hands behind you, sit up tall. Lengthen the front of the body. Good. And we're just going to do some windshield wipering of the legs from side to side. So go ahead and rock up, take the knees to the right. Exhale, come back to center. Then inhale, rock the knees to the left. And exhale back to center. Inhale to a side, exhale to center, and just make this a fluid movement from side to side. And again, it's creating some of that mobility and flexibility in the hips. So helping to continue what butterfly did for us earlier. This time adding some rotation or some dynamic rotation to the hip joints. From side to side. Try to keep the heart lifting here. It's easy to start getting like sluggish in the chest. We want to keep the heart up. There we go. Breathe. From side to side. Just a few more times. Good. Then go ahead and bring the legs back to center. All right. So we're going to do an exercise that feels similar to what we just did before that exercise. So go ahead and extend your left leg forward, and then take the right knee out to the side, the foot to the inner thigh for now. And I want you to flex actually both feet, but the right foot in general, pull the toes back, and see if you can rest the right ankle just above the left knee. So right above there, right on top of the thigh. Good. Now, if you want to, you can sit on a folded blanket here if you feel like you need some more length in your spine. And what I'd like you to do is place your right hand on top of your right knee and just give it some gentle pressure, not pushing it down aggressively, but it's almost like you're drawing it forward and allowing that movement of pulling it forward away from your body to be what pulls it down. Good. Sit up, breathe. Good. So from here, see how far you can go. It might not be that far, and that is completely fine. But keeping the spine nice and long, just begin to draw the heart forward toward the leg. Again, it might not be too far, and especially since we're just getting started, you don't have to be a beast about it just now. Maybe later on. I'll invite you into some beast mode later. Let's take just a few more breaths. Good. And then sit up tall and uncross. Good. Let's do the other side. So with your right leg forward, go ahead and bring the left foot to the inside. And then with the foot flexed, just pick it up and place it on top of the right thigh, around the region just above the knee. Now again, take the left hand on top of the left knee and don't push it downward, but draw the leg forward and allow that movement to be what draws it down. So it's not a lot of pressure. It's just enough to start to feel a stretch. Keep the left foot flexed. That'll help protect the ankle and the knee joint here. And then sit up as tall as you can. There's lots going on here. Feeling that rootedness to the ground here for sure. Now again, you might not go too far, and that's fine. Think about hinging from the hips. Draw the heart forward toward the leg. And breathe. Aware of the inhale, aware of your exhale. Let one more breath here. Then inhale, sit up tall and uncross. Have both legs forward this time. And lift your arms up by your ears. Again, you could be sitting on a folded blanket if you need to. Sit up tall, inhale. With your exhale, lead with the heart. Bring yourself halfway forward. Inhale, come back up, tall seat. And exhale, again, halfway forward. Inhale back up. Go a little bit further this time. Inhale back up. Keep going a few more times. Good. Go to your furthest point. Inhale, come all the way back up. And exhale, release the arms on down. Good. Feel sensation, what's happening in the body, maybe in the lower back, maybe down into the hips, maybe the backs of the legs or hamstrings. Maybe none of that, maybe all of it, maybe something else. Good. All right, so when you're ready, let's transition onto our backs for some bridge pose work. So coming to lay down. And go ahead and hug your knees into your chest when you get there. Take your time. Maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. Good. All right. Go ahead and take the feet flat to the floor, heels underneath your knees, about hip distance apart. All right. With your next inhale, please lift your arms all the way overhead, knuckles touching the floor above you. And exhale, release your arms back down to your side. Inhale, lift the arms overhead again. And exhale, release the arms back down. One more time with just the arms. Inhale, lifting. And exhale, lower them down. Let's add the hips now. With your next inhale, lift the arms. Lift the hips into the air. Press your pelvis toward the ceiling. Exhale, release the arms and hips back down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Let's do several more on your breath, lifting up as you inhale, lowering down as you exhale. Keeping it going. Let's do 2 more. And then as you come into the pose this time, go ahead and stay. And breathe. Feel the feet grounded to the floor here. Good. Deep breath in, please. And then exhale, release the arms and the hips back down. All right. Keep your left foot flat on the floor where it's at right now. Keep it right there. And bring your right knee into your chest. I'm just going to do a little bit for this hamstring, and then we're going to do a hip stretch on this side. So hold behind the right knee with both hands. Then inhale, extend the right leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. 3 more. Good. Then extend the leg toward the ceiling. Let's leave it extended. Pull the toes back. Feel length in the back of the right leg. And then just give a little bit of a tug on the thigh, pulling the leg toward your body. Deep breath in and out. And then bend the right knee, the leg in the air, and bring the right ankle to rest just above the left knee. So about a little bit higher than the center of the left thigh. Now pull the right toes back, flexing the foot. Again, this will help protect the ankle and the knee joints, which are pretty important if you want to keep walking and stuff. It's up to you. So keeping that foot flexed, arms can rest down by your side. Inhale, pick up the hips, coming into a half bridge. And then go ahead and release the hips down. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release down. Let's do a few more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Go ahead and come into the pose. Let's stay, lifting the hips as high as you can, and then relax the right glute, allowing that right knee to drop slightly. You're still pressing up firmly through the left side of the body. Breathe. Deep breath in. And then exhale, release the hips down. Keep the right leg crossed. Keep it right where it's at. And then draw the left knee in towards your chest. Reach between your legs with your right hand. And then with both hands, hold behind the left thigh. So we're kind of getting to a pretzel here at this point. Good. And then don't yank the left leg in towards your body. Just gently encourage the knee toward your chest, the left knee, that is. And you'll start to feel sensation, just a little bit. Maybe it's in your right glute or hip. And sometimes when I'm feeling some more intense sensation in my body, sometimes I talk to it. So if your right glute is talking to you right now, just ask it if it can calm down a bit. It can relax, it can soften back. Sometimes it works. Sometimes. Not rushing these hips. We'll stay for a few more breaths. Okay, deep breath in. And then don't drop it, but just carefully bring the left knee, or left foot, sorry, back down to the floor and uncross the legs. Good, just feel sensation. Notice the difference between the right and the left side. We've done about 3 exercises on one side and not on the other yet. So there's a lot of opportunity to see some differentiation, or like, what is this exercise actually doing here? And now I can insert my joke that whether you liked that exercise or not, we should do the other side because there is such a big difference at this point. So starting at the beginning, keep your right foot flat on the floor, knee bent, and then just bring your left knee into your chest. We got to stretch the hamstring. So holding behind the left knee or left thigh, both hands, inhale, extend the left leg toward the ceiling, pull the toes back, reach through the heel, and then exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, extend, and then exhale, bend. We'll do 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Good. As you extend the leg this time, go ahead and leave it extended. Really pull the toes back so you can feel the back of that left leg. And then just ever so gently begin to pull the leg towards your body. You don't have to go very far here. And you really want to keep the left hip on the ground, or if you just pull it towards you, you might lift the hip off the ground. Keep the hip grounded. One more breath. And then go ahead and bend the left knee and cross the left ankle just above the right knee. So on the thigh there. Good. Your arms can relax down by your side. Flex the left foot, pull the toes back, again, protecting the ankle and the knee. And we'll do our half bridge. So pressing the right foot into the floor, inhale, lift the hips. And exhale, release down. Inhale, hips raised. Exhale, lower. Let's keep going. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. A couple more times. And as you come into the pose this time, go ahead and stay, hips lifting, and relax your left glute. That left knee dropping slightly, and then push up powerfully through your right side. The right glute engaged, that right hip bone pointing, lifting toward the ceiling. Couple more breaths. You can do it. Stay lifted. Deep breath in. And then exhale, release the hips on down. Keep the leg crossed and bring your right knee in toward your chest. And then reach between the legs with the left hand, both hands holding behind the right thigh, and then gently guide the right knee in toward your chest. Don't force it, just guide it. And again, keep the left knee or the left foot flexed. It's hard to tell what's left and right at this point. Just flex both feet. And breathe. Because just like the first side, you might feel just a little bit of sensation in your hips here. And meet that sensation with your breath. Taking deep breaths, allowing your nervous system to calm around the sensation. And if you like talking to your body parts, you could ask that glute to relax, to soften back, and maybe it'll listen, maybe it'll do it. Almost there. Not rushing these hips, taking our time. Deep breath in. And then carefully release the right foot back down to the floor and uncross the legs. Good. And we're going to do a few more exercises here on our backs, so hopefully that's okay for you. And then walk your feet away from your body about 6 inches and take your feet as wide apart as your yoga mat. So as wide apart as the mat, your arms out to the side. This is a very similar exercise to what we did when we were seated earlier. So go ahead and let the knees drop to the right. Exhale, bring the knees back to center. Then inhale, knees to the left. Exhale, back to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale back. Inhale to the left. Exhale back. About 20 more seconds. Just move from side to side. You can turn the head away from the knees if you'd like to, if your neck is asking for some attention here. You don't want to forget about the neck. Good. One more time on each side, for now at least. And then go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. And bring the soles of the feet together in butterfly again, holding onto the shins or ankles. Some of you might be able to hold on to the pinky edge of the feet, but just get a grasp there and allow the knees to fall wide. Good. Now, there are a couple of ways to do this posture. Often when we come into reclined butterfly like this, we just pull the feet in toward the groin. I'm going to challenge you a little bit now. I actually would like you to take the feet up above your body as much as you can, so right above your abdomen. And then from here, bend the elbows and just guide the feet toward your belly. You might not be able to go that far, and that's completely fine, but this is going to work and stretch the muscles that we want to work and stretch tonight. Now, if you'd like to feel more here, if you'd like to, think about curling your tailbone back down to the floor. So your lower back is starting to pop up here. Think about rolling that back down as you draw the feet in toward your belly. And breathe. Now, we'd be remiss not to do happy baby pose here because we're already ready for it. We're almost there already. So just take each foot into each hand and respectively, and then draw the feet away from one another, but keep the knees out to the side, wide of the armpits. And then draw the feet downward, pull them downward, knees toward the armpits. And this time especially feel the lower back roll back down to the floor. Are we still breathing? Breathe, breathe, breathe here. Really getting into the hips tonight. That grounding force when we work with the hips. Good. All right. From here, bring the feet together again, the soles of the feet together. And then keeping the feet in butterfly, release the pinky edge to the floor. So pinky edge of the feet on the floor, knees are falling wide, maybe wider than they normally do because we've done some work already. And we're going to do some butterfly bridge because, again, we're here. So relaxing your arms down by your side, press the pinky edge of the feet into the floor, lift your hips into the air. Exhale, release the hips back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, release the hips back down. 3 more times. Inhale, hips lift. And exhale, hips down. We're going to come into the pose and hold it. Inhale, lifting up. And keeping the hips raised, some of you know this move. We'll take a deep breath in, then exhale, squeeze the knees toward one another. The feet might fall apart, and that's fine. Then inhale, take the knees wide. Keep the hips lifted. Exhale, squeeze the knees together. Inhale, take the knees wide. 3 more times. Squeeze them together and exhale. Inhale wide. Squeeze them together. Inhale wide 1 more time. Squeeze the knees together. Keep them together. Keep breathing. Push the hips up just a little bit higher. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, take the knees apart, and then relax the hips down to the floor and extend your legs forward for a moment. Just feel sensation in your lower back, in the hips themselves. Anywhere else that might be talking to you, be aware of it. Good. All right. When you're ready, please take your right arm all the way overhead. Roll to your right side. And let's come on up to hands and knees. Table pose. Hydrating if you need to hydrate. So often, table pose is one of the first postures that we come into when we come into class. And now that we've done about 25 minutes of floor work with the hips, just notice how this might feel different than normal. Maybe you have more access to the posture. And we'll explore that with some familiar postures as well. So take a deep breath in here. Then exhale, go back to child's pose. How does that feel with the work we've done in the hips and lower back? Inhale, come back up. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. How does that feel? Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Again, inhale, back up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, float down. Child's pose. Good. Inhale, back up. Downward facing dog, please. And let's stay for about 3 deep breaths. Good. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees, and please step your right foot between your hands. Help it through, okay? Now we're gonna be doing some rocking on the knee here. So if that's not comfortable for you, a couple things. You can fold your mat over and give your knee some cushion there, or you can take a blanket, if you had one earlier, and place that underneath where your knee is, okay? All right. In the lunge, inhale, extend the arms forward, come up for the crescent lunge. You know this one. Exhale, take the hands down to the ground. Straighten the right leg, pull the toes back, lengthening the back of the leg. Then inhale, rock forward, lift the arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor, rock back. Let's keep going. Inhale, rock forward, lift. Exhale, hands down, rock back. We're just going to keep going for a little bit longer. So go at your own pace. You don't have to go as quickly as I'm going. You can go quicker if you want to, or you can go slower. Stay with your practice. Inhale, rocking forward, opening the heart toward the ceiling, keeping that front knee bending strong. Then hands to the floor. Exhale, straighten the leg, pull the toes back. Good. Let's do 2 more. Good. And as you rock forward this time, go ahead and sweep the right leg back. Let's come into child's pose. Nice symmetrical stretch here. Then inhale back up to hands and knees. And let's do the other side, stepping your left foot between the hands. Good. All right, when you're ready, let's begin. Inhale, lift the arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, straighten the leg, pull the toes back. Good. Then inhale, rock forward, lift up again. And then exhale, hands down, straighten the leg, pull the toes back. Let's keep going. Inhale, rocking up. Exhale, rocking back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale again, moving at your own pace. This can be slow. This can be quicker. Just stay within the integrity of your practice. What works for your body. Two more. And as you rock forward this time, sweep that left leg back. Child's pose once again. Then inhale up to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Good. So from down dog, go ahead and walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into the standing forward fold. Taking a breath here, just feeling how this pose feels after all of the work we've done to warm up to it. All right, with your next inhale, press palms to shins, come halfway up. Exhale, release down. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side with a flat back, come all the way up to standing, and palms to your heart. Good morning. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if we'd make it to standing tonight. We might have just stayed on the ground, but I wanted to do one specific exercise, which means we have to do two specific exercises because we have to get ourselves ready for the second one. All right, so we're gonna practice chair pose. And tonight I'd like you to keep your feet and knees apart. So when you sink into the posture, your feet and knees stay apart. What you don't wanna do is buckle the knees together with the feet wide. That can destabilize all the joints and things can happen. So just take your hands onto your waist. And just to keep the spine in a good alignment, I'd like you to bring the elbows together toward one another behind your back. They won't actually touch, but you're just bringing them together. And this forces the scapula, the shoulder blades, into the upper back, which keeps the spine lifting. So it's really hard to round and roll forward here, okay? All right, feet stacking underneath your hips. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bend your knees, sink the hips down, coming into chair. Inhale, come back up. Exhale again, sinking down in. Keep the heart lifting. Inhale, come back up. Again. Inhale up. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Bring your palms to your heart. Keep the spine tall. Sink into chair. This is what we've been working toward, what I wanted to do when we were standing. Take your right elbow across the top of your left thigh or knee. Okay, try to make a connection there. Then press the palms together and roll the left shoulder back, coming into a chair twist. Knees stay bending, hips are sinking. And breathe. Now, if you're having a hard time keeping that right elbow on the right knee, you can back the right elbow up to the right knee and do the work here, okay? But if you can take it all the way across, do so. Stay for another breath or two. Keep the knees bent, inhale, unwind, and then stand up. I was contemplating just switching to the other side, but I figured I'd give you a break first. All right, well, we are going to do the other side, so palms to heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, sinking in. Inhale. Exhale, take the left elbow across to the top of the right thigh or knee. Press the palms together and roll the right shoulder back, coming into a chair twist here. Now again, if your left elbow can't stay on the knee, that's fine. Just back it up to the left knee and work the twist there. Keep the hips sinking. Keep rolling the right shoulder back. Keep breathing. Good. Keep the knees bent. Inhale, unwind, and then stand up. You can release the palms. Just feel sensation for a moment. Deep breath in and out. And bring your awareness back. So just as quickly as we came to standing, just as quickly as we're going to make our way back down to the floor. All right. So just go ahead and come into a standing forward fold again. Good. And with your fingertips or hands on the ground, lift your heels. I'll turn sideways. Lift your heels and bend your knees, dropping down into a squat. Okay. Then take your hands behind you and release down with your legs in front. I like transitions. I know I could have just said come to the floor, but we had to go through some drama to get there, so here we are. Also, when I make jokes, I assume you're laughing on the other end, so I'm just gonna keep rolling with that one. All right, so we've been working our way toward a specific posture all night long, and that is called fire log pose. And so it's actually kind of like a leg cross, kind of like sitting like this, but instead of having the heels pointing back toward your body, you actually have the shin parallel to the front of your mat, okay? And so it'll be one leg stacked on top of the other. I'm using my arms to kind of show you what the legs will do. And we'll do one side, right leg on top of left, and then we're gonna come out and do the other side, okay? Now we have a habitual way of sitting, and because of that, our hips have a propensity to be uneven, which means that one side is gonna be a lot easier than the other. So be gentle with yourself as we do this. I've actually brought a blanket that I'm sitting on underneath my hips. You might need some support for this one, okay? You don't want the lower back to round too much. Getting started. So I'm gonna show you fire log pose, and if you can't do it, I'll show you a different variation, okay? So this first one is what we call fire log pose, and then I'll give you a modification later. So I'm gonna go ahead and cross my left leg in front of me. And I'm pulling the toes back. Again, we've pulled the toes back, we protect the joints. And my shin is parallel to my mat. So they line up here. And then I'm gonna stack my right ankle over my right knee, and my right knee will stack over my left ankle. Now you'll notice there's a gap here. This is pretty normal. If yours actually touch immediately, that means you have really open hips. But both feet are flexed, and go ahead and come into this configuration if you can. All right, so crossing the left leg underneath, shin parallel to the front of the mat, and then crossing your right leg on top. Good. Now, just doing this, you'll probably start to feel something in the hips already. I certainly am already. The blanket I'm sitting on is helping me to sit up as tall as I can. So If you're able to stay here, go ahead and stay here. If you can't, you'll come into an earlier variation that we did actually, where you'll keep the left leg extended forward and you'll just cross the right ankle right above the left knee, okay? Lots of lefts and rights. Either way, keep everything flexed. But if you can, fire lock. All right. So I'm going to give you some options here. It's a buffet. Take what you want, leave what you don't. Take your left hand on top of your right foot, sitting tall. Take your right hand on top of your right knee. And just like before, instead of pushing the knee downward, push it forward and allow that pushing forward to be what gives you the length in the hip and what allows this knee to sink down. And if it feels okay for you, close your eyes. I just want you to focus on your breath here. Aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale. You can allow your breath to be just a little bit deeper than normal. And that'll make sure that you stay engaged with the breath. Instead of over-identifying with any discomfort that you might be feeling in your body. And then we're going to stay for just a few more breaths. And only if you want to, lean the heart forward just slightly. Doesn't take much. Good, then sit up tall. And go ahead and extend the legs forward for a moment. Getting into those hips. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there is another side to do, and because of the way we habitually sit, which is different for each of us, one side will be easier or harder than the other. So keep an open mind as we do the second side. So I'm going to take my left leg out to the side for a moment, get that out of the way, and cross your right leg in front of you. The shin is in line with the front of the mat again. I'm sitting on a blanket, and then I'll go ahead and stack my left ankle over my right knee and my left knee over my right ankle. Lefts and rights get pretty tricky at this point. And again, you might notice a gap between the knee and the foot. That's completely normal. Sit up as tall as you can, and just that might start to activate sensation in the hip. Now, if you don't want to do the full fire log as we're doing now, you could extend the right leg forward and just bend the left knee. If you'd like to, you can place the right hand on top of the left foot and the left hand on top of the left knee. Again, not pushing downward, but pushing forward. And again, if it's comfortable, close your eyes and just focus on your breath. And you can imagine that the breath is like light going to those points of tension and dissolving them. Helping those more tensious points to relax, to soften, to feel some relief. And only if you want to, you could lean the heart forward just a little bit. I'm going to stay for a little bit longer. When you come up against discomfort, I want you just to breathe with it, please. You don't have to rush away from it quickly. Good. Inhale, sit back up. And be careful as you uncross, because you gotta feel it. Hips, grounding. You really might feel yourself really being on the floor right now. So we got a couple more exercises to do just to make sure that we're counterposing all of the other work we're doing. And then we have a nice, wonderful Shavasana coming up. So go ahead and bring the feet flat to the floor again, a little bit wider than your shoulders. We did this exercise earlier. And you can be on a blanket or you can be on the floor for this one, whichever you prefer. And then just allow the knees to drop to a side. Come back to center. The knees go to the other side. And just move them from side to side, helping to relieve any pressure or tension that might have come up in the hip joints. It's also a great stretch for your lower back, the iliopsoas muscle, which is a big wraparound muscle from your low back down and around the body and into the groin. Breathe. A couple more times. And then we're going to take this into a twist. So I want you to keep your feet about shoulder width or further apart. And then as your knees fall to the left, go ahead and stay there. Sweep your right arm around, plant it to the floor, and then look behind you. Depending on how much access you have in your spine as far as flexibility go, you might be able to walk your hands back behind you further to twist deeper. And remember that the head, or the neck, I should say, is a part of the spine. So turn the chin to the left as well. And breathe. One more breath here. And then carefully inhale, unwind all the way around, and then just go ahead and take the knees to the right immediately. And then sweep the left arm around, plant it to the floor, and begin to work your way into the twist. So that might just be staying here. If you have more flexibility in your spine, you might be able to walk the hands further back. And again, the neck is a part of the spine, so turn the chin to the right, looking as far to that right side behind you as you can. And breathe. One more deep breath here. And then inhale, carefully unwind back to center. All right. So the last pose we'll do will just be knees to chest on our backs. So go ahead and come to lay down once again. And hug your knees into your chest when you get there. And maybe rock a little bit from side to side, gently massaging the spine, the low back into the ground. Maybe you're circling on the tailbone a little bit. We'll just take a few more deep breaths here. And good. Then bring the legs to stillness. Go ahead and relax them down to the floor. Heels about mat width apart and your arms resting by your sides, palms face up. And take a deep breath in and out. And once again, feel the points of contact your body makes with the floor. And become aware of the vast network of support beneath that floor. The structure that you're in, the earth beneath that, all the layers of the Earth's crust, all the way down to the core of the planet, all of it rising up in this moment to hold you, to support you. Relax into that support, that sense of groundedness. And know that for these next few moments, you don't have to hold yourself up. You don't have to figure anything out. You have an opportunity to just be. Just be. Peace. 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 Please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath. And make some gentle movements in your hands and feet, your arms and legs. And taking your time as you roll to your right side. And then making your way to a seat as you feel complete here. Good. So go ahead and bring your palms to your heart and lower the chin. Feel yourself rooted, nice and grounded to the earth here. And honor yourself for the work you've done here tonight. Gratitude for the effort you put forth. And may that effort and this practice continue to serve you. So until next time, namaste.